I'm Patty Mason. I'm an author, speaker, and the founder of Liberty in Christ Ministries. Here at Liberty in Christ Ministries, we are dedicated to helping you overcome the obstacles that hinder your relationship with God so that you can discover, embrace, and live out your freedom in Christ with boldness. Not too long ago, I put a post out on Facebook challenging people to respond to a blog that we are starting. We are in the process of getting a new website and doing a lot of new things. And so I put this challenge out on Facebook asking people if they would be interested in a blog where I open my journals and just share my heart, share my victories, my challenges, the things that I've been successful with in my walk with the Lord, and the things that I have failed at, the challenges that I have faced, and the things that I've had to work really hard at overcoming. And I had a dear woman respond to this blog post, this request on Facebook, and she said that she would really appreciate if I would share how I overcome a bad day or a bad month. First of all, let's define what a bad day is. A bad day is where circumstances just go wrong. Maybe you lose your job, or you receive a frightening diagnosis, or you receive that phone call that just completely changes your life. A bad day is based on circumstances that are out of our control, or things that we just cannot readily change. Another type of bad day is one that we cause ourselves. I know just today I have caused myself to start out my day very poorly because I woke up today, had to leap right out of bed. I had absolutely no time with the Lord this morning, and so my attitude was not in a very good place. I was grumpy. I could tell I was in a place where I could be more easily attacked by the enemy. I even warned my husband. I said, honey, I have not had my, what I like to call Jesus Java this morning. So I am warning you now, I am grumpy. And I could tell that my day was getting off to a bad start. When I have a bad day, regardless if it is based on circumstances or it is because my attitude is going south, there is only one thing that I know to do to overcome a bad day, regardless of what it is, and that is to get with Jesus. As soon as I was able to this morning, I sat down with the Lord and I spent some serious time with Him. I just spent time in His Word. I spent time crying out to Him. I spent time worshiping. I spent time doing a Bible study. I spent time journaling. And granted, yes, it was a lot more time, and even probably more time than I normally spend with Him on any given day for that quiet time. But you know what? I needed it because I started off on the wrong foot. So my question, or my answer to her question is, if you are having a bad day, then get with the Lord and ask Him to bathe you in His love. Ask Him to remind you of His grace. Ask Him to remind you of His goodness and the things that He has done for you in the past. Ask Him to remind you of His faithfulness to you. Ask Him to remind you of how special you are to Him. The answer to overcoming a bad day is Jesus. There's many little things that we can do to help ourselves. I've even listed some in this blog, some little treats that maybe will help us to maybe have a little bit of a better attitude, or maybe to encourage us, or to just help us to lift our spirits. But truthfully, the only thing that can overcome a bad day is Jesus, and spending time with Him and just worshiping Him and having the reminders of His love and His grace surround you. Because no matter what we go through in this life, regardless if it's something that we hear on television, or we receive some bad news, or we ourselves are just having a bad day because we're filling our minds and our thoughts with negativity, regardless of what kind of bad day we're having, or if it's a bad week or a bad month, we can turn it around with Jesus. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I couldn't wait to get with Him this morning, and I just sat down in His Word and just spent a huge amount of time. And I feel so much better now. I feel like my day is turning around, and it's going to actually be a wonderful day. So let me encourage you. Let me encourage you in the Lord. Remember His faithfulness to you. Remember His mercy and grace. That is so wonderful. His grace that has saved your life, that has redeemed you from the pit and brought you into His glorious light. You know, we need to remember the goodness of the Lord. Just remembering Him, remembering His faithfulness and His kindness to us, just will help to really lift our spirits, even if the world around us is trying to draw us into darkness or trying to sway us into having a bad attitude or being upset or worried. There's a lot of things in this world that can come against us, and the enemy wants to try to come against us and fill us with all kinds of lies and all kinds of deceit and all kinds of things that are going to distract us from our pure devotion to the Lord, because he knows how important that is. And he knows that when we focus on Jesus above all else, that we will be victorious. So let's you and I just saturate ourselves in the love and the mercy and grace of God today and every day, so that no matter what happens, no matter what comes against us, we do not have to have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a bad year. We can celebrate the Lord's goodness, and in that we can find hope and joy.